Hi, my loves. Thanks so much for voting in the community poll for this week's video. Before I start, be sure to subscribe to the channel. You get a chance then to vote every week for what you'd like the video to be on for the week. I post a video every weekend on a Saturday or a Sunday. And they may be a reading, or this week people requested a manifestation video, which is good choice. The best way to predict the future is to create the future, and I most wanted to do that. Also, once I reach 3,000 subscribers, which is not going to be very long, I'll be giving away a free video reading to someone who's subscribed and comments. So just comment to be in the running for that. I have got a new camera, a new phone with a much better recording camera. The best camera is on the back, but I'm too much of a technophobe to work out how to record myself with that and know I'm in it just yet. But hopefully you'll notice that the quality of this video is better. That's one of the things I said I'd do once we reached, I think, 1,000 subscribers, which we have a while ago. Takes me a while, but I always do what I say I'm going to do, guys. Okay, so for today's video, we're going to talk about manifestation. I feel I've given you guys a lot of information about manifestation already. There's a whole playlist on my channel about manifestation. Basically, manifestation is as simple as whatever you think and assume is what you'll see mirrored in the outside world. And then there are several techniques you can do in order to shift the way you're thinking and what you're assuming, so that you can create the shift you desire in the outside world. We're always manifesting. It's not like you can be good or bad at manifesting. We manifest everything in our lives. You just maybe didn't know you were manifesting before. That's not to say you're to blame for anything that's happened that you don't want, especially before you knew about manifestation, but it's just to empower you that you can't be good or bad at manifesting. It's just about manifesting what you want versus manifesting on autopilot. I come at manifestation from a law of assumption, law of attraction, a little bit of spell work tied into that as well, perspective based on this, and also the seven hermetic principles. I'm very into Neville Goddard. I'm also into Reality Transurfing and Neville Zeland. I can never say that name right. He's a quantum physicist who writes about these parallel realities. Also Florence Scoble-Shinn. I like some of the law of attraction stuff as well. I've been doing this for probably about 18 years, maybe longer. In the last, I would say 5 years, I've really honed my techniques so that they work very well for me and clients. When you work with me one-on-one, I give you a lot of different ways to skin the cat, because you can do it in so many different ways, and it's all about your belief system and making your belief system work for you. Some people are more visual, some people are better at hearing, some people are better at writing, so you can do the different techniques that will apply to you, and I have a whole playlist about this. But as well as that, you know, some people, it's about using your belief system to help you get what you want. So say you believe in God, then why not pray to God if you believe that's going to make what you want happen? If you believe in several gods, you know, if you're a Hindi, then maybe you can incorporate that into how you manifest. If you are very scientific, come at it from the idea of, if you say your affirmations enough, you're reprogramming your subconscious mind. I think that's a bit limited, but that is a scientific fact if you're someone who needs to think of things that way. I am obviously an extremely spiritual person. I don't really believe in time. I don't believe in space. Like, I'm pretty out there, you know, I'm psychic. So I don't believe in these normal things that people need or that people expect to have in their lives that would make manifestation seem implausible to me. So I can just come at it in a very kind of open way. And even if you're someone who is into the law of assumption and Neville Goddard and the fact that you're God of your own reality, both Neville Goddard and who is the other person? Is it Benjamin Murphy? I think it could have been, but it may have been someone else, some other manifestation person. They were taught by the same guru anyway, whoever that is. I think it is Anyway, they were both taught by a guy called Abdullah. Abdullah was their mentor. There's not much we know about Abdullah. He's a mysterious character, but what we do know is that he was a psychic. He was a mystic. So even if you're going on the law of assumption thing with Neville Goddard, which is very much just your thoughts create, and you know, it's kind of a bit limited in that way of like, it's not so mystical. You're not meant to believe in a God outside of you. You're meant to believe you're God of your reality, and you can create whatever you want to happen. Although if you're really into Neville Goddard, it's all about the Bible and how the Bible is a manifestation tool. But anyway, let's not get into that. What I'm trying to say is even those forms of manifestation that don't seem as, you know, woo-woo as law of attraction and getting into the right vibration and all of that stuff, they come from someone who was a psychic, who had mystical experiences. Neville Goddard himself had mystical experiences. He predicted his own death. He had experiences of predicting the future. People who followed him had the same kind of experiences. And he definitely believed in embodying the state and shifting states in the same way that, like, maybe if you're into reality transurfing, you're shifting into different quantum realities. So all of these things, and even law of attraction and getting into the right vibration, that could just be another way of saying getting into the right state. Because I've studied so many of these different teachers, I see certain things within all of them that come down to the same basic thing, which is that you have to embody the state of what you want, whether that's through raising your vibration, quantum jumping, embodying a state, living in the state of the wish fulfilled, or trusting that the universe is going to bring it to you and so relaxing about it. You still, basically, you expect to receive what you want, and you know that it's happening, and you detach once you've placed your order. This is probably an advanced manifestation video, but anyway, it's going to give you some actionable stuff. I just wanted to explain how I'm coming at it. Why am I wearing this coat is maybe some of you were wondering that. This coat is a manifestation tool. I don't know what I'm going to call this video. It's kind of about placebos, but it's not that simple. Manifestation, and I've said this before in one of my first videos, I'm sure, in my playlist, it's all about whatever you believe is going to work, because it's about whatever you believe coming true. So if you believe in God and that God is going to help you if you pray to God, that's why if you really believe that and you do it, it will work. That's why if you really believe doing a spell is going to work for you, it will work. Of course, because I'm spiritual, I believe there's a bit more to it than that, but you can boil it down to that basic kind of way of thinking. If you believe that affirming 100 times a day is going to get you what you want, because of science, it will work for you, right? If you believe that rubbing your nose 50 times a day is going to make you thin, that could work as well. So this is about using things in your daily life as a kind of placebo effect, okay? Now, I came about this by accident because I'm very into the whole idea of manifestation not being about manipulating your current reality at all. I think that's a very limited way of seeing it, but about jumping into a parallel reality where what you want is already created, because we live in a multiverse. That's how I can do readings for you guys. That's how we're all connected. That's how I can look into the future, but also say to you, but there are other ways this could go sometimes as well. So I did a quantum leap meditation myself. Like, I went into a meditative state, did a quantum jump into my desired reality, and maybe I'll make a meditation on this, or I don't know if I will, because there are some good ones already that you can do. Maybe I will though. But anyway, so I did this meditation and I saw myself living in my desired end. I'm not going to share with you what I'm manifesting, but I'm very good at manifesting these days, and everything I want is happening for me. You shouldn't share what you're manifesting in general with anyone, because you don't want the outside input unless it's a trusted friend who also does manifestation. But I'm not going to share what I was visualizing, but I visualized my end. I'll tell you one of the things is that I visualized being in my house with it done up a certain way. So I was still in my house, but as I was walking around my house, looking through my own eyes, so seeing my hands in front of me, it's very good to, when you first go into the state of looking through your own eyes. You can look at your hands first because you know them so well, because you see them so often, that it will help you get into that first person perspective that we don't usually use when we're imagining, and that will really help you manifest. But anyway, so I was looking through my house. The walls were painted different colors, the carpet was different, I had tiles in the kitchen, stuff like that. Now, I was imagining how I wanted my house to be, but I also looked at myself in the mirror and I was quite surprised because I was wearing a coat like this. Now, this is not a coat that I would necessarily, I mean, it kind of is me, but in a lot of ways it's not that like much of a me coat, right? And because I was wearing this in my quantum jump meditation, this was like the new version of me. I felt a certain way in that meditation, in the clothes I was wearing. Things were all a little bit similar, but quite different. I then saw this coat in the real world for sale, and I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna buy that coat, because I have a feeling when I start wearing it, I'm gonna feel like a different person. I'm gonna feel like the person that was in that other reality, and it's a way of bringing that reality in and helping me quantum jump. Now you could say this is just a placebo, or it doesn't matter how it works, but it did work. It made me shift states like that. And since I then realized that, I realized I've done this before. So when I visualize, and you guys don't need to do a quantum leap meditation to do this. You can just do this when you're doing your visualizations in general. Now I have a whole video on visualizations, guys, if you haven't watched it. I have a whole, watch it. It's in my playlist. But basically the main thing when you visualize is that you look through your first person perspective. You create a short scene that's about 3 seconds long that you can loop on repeat. A good example would be getting a new job. Imagining shaking the hand of your boss and them saying congratulations on your new job, and you saying yes, I'm so happy to have this new job, and them saying it's amazing, congratulations. Usually it's good if you say something, the other person confirms it, and then you confirm it back. Very short clip that you can loop. Shaking hands is very loopable, okay? And you just play that in your mind, either when you're going to sleep, first thing in the morning, or if you become anxious throughout the day about what it is you're trying to manifest, just go into that state instead. But within that short scene, say you wanted to manifest a car. I don't drive, so this is not me telling you my manifestation, therefore it's fine for me to do it. I really don't want to talk about things I'm actually manifesting, okay? Say I was manifesting a car, and I had a air freshener in the car. And it was kind of a weird air freshener, maybe that I wouldn't normally go for, or it's just not something I already have in my current car. That's important, okay? It should be something you don't already have. So you see this air freshener in your visualization. Well, a good way of helping you to shift into that reality once you've been visualizing it enough that it feels kind of real for you, so you can like let it go. Get that air freshener, even if you don't have a car, just get that air freshener and put it somewhere you'll see it all the time. Your subconscious mind will get the memo like, oh, okay, well, if we've got that air freshener, then we have to have the car, so the car will come in for you. Because basically, as soon as you've impressed your subconscious with what it is that you want as if it's happening, and then you can use a placebo to reinforce that it's already done, it will show up in your reality, because the subconscious pushes out whatever you impress on it into the 3D, and that's how things manifest. And it doesn't have to be as expensive as like imagining a coat. This is not a superficial thing, but if you think about it, I remember when I was a teenager and I'd had a breakup, and my parents are pretty cool. They're very spiritual. They're also just very good at empowering me. I remember being like heartbroken and my dad being like, I'm going to take you shopping, and you're going to be a new person at the end of this. Now, this was a very healing thing for him to do in lots of ways. I was a teenager. Superficial like stuff like that was probably very good for my self-esteem. Also, my father was showing me how much he loved me, but I think it was more than that. I think he understands states, and he took me shopping and we got some outfits that were very unlike what I wore before, but they made me feel good. And he's like, you're a new person now, just like let that past version of you go, be in your power, you're beautiful, look how amazing you look. I have great parents. But if you think of it, often, when people do have a breakup, they then have this kind of glow up where they dress differently. And that creates this state of empowerment. And if you think about it, if you're trying to manifest love, when are the times that you've manifested love simply and easily, where people are just so into you? It's when you're feeling amazing. It's where you feel great. It's where you feel like in that kind of energy. So if doing something like buying a new outfit is going to shift you, then do it. Of course, that's a bit of a superficial plaster stuck over something if you think of it literally, but if you can incorporate that feeling of that self-worth and self-love, and I'm going to buy something for myself because I feel like I deserve it and I'm worthy, but you've also used the thing you're buying within your visualization to show you're in a different reality, and then you have it in this one, powerful, okay? It is a powerful weapon. I haven't heard a lot of people speak about this. I'm not saying I discovered it. I'm sure it is a thing. I've heard other people talk about using placebos. Like if you're trying to lose weight, you can just say to yourself, every time you drink a glass of water, you're losing weight. And if you believe that it's going to work, it will work. So every time you stroke your cat, you're bringing love into your life. Every time you, that's why a lot of people get very obsessed with signs, and they're like, well, I saw a feather, so it must mean this, that, or the other. Now, I do believe in signs. And I believe there's more to it than that. But of course, because I'm a spiritual person and that's my belief system, I can use that belief I have and help it to make me manifest. So for example, I've discovered a 6 of Cups tarot card on the street. It's in my community tab when I discovered it. And then at that moment, I was like, well, this means reconciliation. This means someone from the past coming in. This means like a reunion, and that really helped me to manifest that happening quite soon after, because I had that belief and because it seemed like the universe giving me a sign. Now, I do truly believe that's what happened, but I'm just showing how you can hack your belief system to help you shift your manifestation into coming even sooner. So if you believe in God, pray. Do you see what I'm saying? If you believe in science, just affirm. If you are a visual person, visualize. But do try this thing of having something in that new reality you're visualizing that you want, that you can actually bring into your current reality, because it will shift you into that timeline even quicker. And it doesn't have to be something, superficial and expensive. It could just be, I talk about this a lot. When I want to manifest money, I'll buy myself a coffee, because to me that is embodying the state of someone who's quite bougie and they're walking around and they can have their takeaway coffee, and that for me helps me shift into that state. It doesn't have to be that you're buying all this expensive stuff, but it could be if you're trying to manifest love and you see yourself holding hands with the person, maybe you could imagine that you're looking down and you see, I don't know, like that you're wearing a certain pair of shoes and there's a bright pink shoelace, and you could just put pink shoelaces in your shoes. So it's not like you have to buy something really expensive. I don't want you guys to think it's like you just have to buy stuff. That's not the premise. I hope you're understanding what the premise is, but it should be something that you don't usually have. Like you wouldn't usually have bright pink shoelaces. In the same way that if you're trying to manifest anything, I advise clients to do something different in their daily routine anyway, to help you realize you're moving to a different state, you're moving to a different reality. And that can be as simple as going to sleep on a different side of the bed to the way you habitually sleep on one side of the bed. This is about you showing your subconscious, we're in a different phase now. The old stuff is over and we've shifted to this new place, and therefore things are different in our reality. I hope it makes sense, guys. I don't want to go on and on about it, but that's why I'm wearing this coat. It is a manifestation tool. It's also, I think, very stylish, and it's quite crazy that I envisioned it and then I found one so similar for sale, and I wasn't even looking for it. I was looking for a practical raincoat, because I'm not practical in how I dress at all. And all my friends had these raincoats, so I was like, I better get a raincoat, and instead I got this, which is not really very practical, but it looked exactly like what I was, visualizing. A little bit different, but similar enough that it works a charm. And I love it, and I feel like a different person in it. All right, guys, I'm going to send you guys much love, light, and positivity. Do like the video, comment, subscribe, vote for next week's video. My store is open if you want readings, manifestation help, yada, yada, yada. Much love, light, and positivity to you all. Take care.